And good morning. Believe it or not, Monday has rolled in once again. We are doing the final countdown of September as today marks September the 29th. We'll be rolling into October Wednesday. This year is flying. That gets us 2 months to the end of the year, which means Christmas is coming. This is quite possibly the fastest year of my life. I just cannot keep it down. It has gotten by us. Well, to remind you, there is an accident this morning, I-59 southbound around mile marker 140, where the bridge goes over the Chunky River. The steer tire blew on a 18-wheeler hauling hogs. Crash, and it's at the end of the bridge. One lane is open. Simmons Wrecker on scene as they trying to get all this cleaned up. There was a little bit of a fuel spill there this morning. They're getting rid of all of that currently at the time. So use caution headed south out of Meridian on I-59. More to come. We'll get into the weather. We've got your headlines that are shaping America this morning as it all comes together. Let's go out to Collinsville now. Let's get our first good message of the day from Collinsville First Baptist.
As a father of 5 children, one of the greatest joys of my life has been being in the delivery room for every single one of them. Now, each birth was awe-inspiring, even the one that was a C-section. They all changed my life. But it wasn't all roses, right? With each delivery, my wife went through awful pain, like a sudden, raging, unstoppable storm. I mean, labor came on powerfully each time. The contractions, the pressure, the pushing, the stretching, the tearing, the cutting. I mean, it was all incredibly painful. But with each birth, I was reminded that's not exactly how it's supposed to be. You see, after Adam and Eve sinned, God cursed the serpent in Genesis 3 and then turned to Eve with a curse for her as well. To the woman, he said, I will greatly increase your pains in childbearing. With pain, you will give birth to children. Your desire will be for your husband, and he will rule over you. Now listen, there was always going to be a measure of pain simply because of the physiology of a baby squeezing through the birth canal. But Genesis 3 makes it clear that what women face today is a multiplication of what it was originally intended to be. The intensity of that pain is a reminder that we live under the curse of sin. Every time a baby is birthed, there's great joy, but there's also great pain, which is a vivid indicator that things are not as they should be. But amidst that pain comes also the reminder of the hope that's found in Jesus Christ. You see, through Christ, that curse will be reversed for all who hope in Him. Jesus Christ will soon come, bring heaven to earth, and make all things new, and as is promised in Revelation 22, then the angel showed me the river of the water of life as clear as crystal, flowing from the throne of God and of the Lamb down the middle of the great street of the city. On each side of the river stood the tree of life, bearing 12 crops of fruit, yielding its fruit every month. And the leaves of the tree are the healing of the nations. No longer will there be any curse. The throne of God and of the Lamb will be in the city, and His servants will serve Him. That's a picture of heaven. So may you turn to Christ today, the curse reverser, the hurt healer, the life giver. Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. And welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that message this morning from Brother Ben. Always does a great sermon. If you've never had a chance to see him, visit sometime. Stevie, good morning. I see Miss Doris is up. Alan is joining us. Joyce, good morning there. So many of you, and Joe is up as well. I have, and I believe we need to do this as Christians. If you're a Christian, welcome. If you're a non-believer, that's okay too. We hope that one day you find it. But we live in a world where for the last, 20, 25 years, the media is more or less, I don't know the exact way to word this, but they're not favorable of Christians. I see that every day. I've never heard of this group. Let me show you this. This is the Anti-Defamation League. Up until about an hour ago, I don't think I've ever heard of them. They, and let me show you this. They are labeling Turning Point USA, Charlie Kirk, as a hate group. No, I'm serious. Which is filled with Christians, which would lead Elon Musk to say this as he put out this: the ADL hates Christians, therefore it's a hate group. Our days of freedom seem to be threatened. Do you not believe that? Especially as a Christian. I see this more and more each day. Here in America, we have fell below 50% of those who believe in Jesus Christ. Can you believe that? Our country was founded on that. These are just heads up as we watch this, and we'll get into what happened this weekend here in just a little bit also. Central Michigan University. Never heard of it. It's news to me also. First time seeing this. They were requiring, and this goes against most anything, no matter what nationality you are, whether you're white, you're black, Latino, it shouldn't matter when you go to join a school, should it? They are requiring, if I'm understand this right, for everybody who wants to go in into a counseling program to take a white privilege test. Why would you do that? Just so you know, we thought we would pass that along. Let's see here. 5,000 people wore Charlie Kirk shirts. They were given out free over the weekend at Penn State. A bunch of people wore those shirts. Miami, Florida. I'll go to another headline. And this is probably going to happen at some point. We saw it a few years ago when the housing market, they've been charging a little bit too much. You look at Nashville of what it costs for a home now. A home that was a $150,000 home just a few years ago is now selling close to $1 million. I know people that built their houses during the 60s cost 40-something thousand, selling for $500,000 and $600,000 now. But Miami has been chosen as the city most likely to bust the bubble when it comes to housing prices. It's overextended. They're expecting prices to fall. If you own land in Miami, be prepared for that. Washington, a Washington distillery has had $1 million worth of whiskey stolen. My, oh my, oh my. They'll most likely resell that on the black market, won't they? And you're right, Diane, it's ridiculous what housing costs. What cost you $200,000 a few years ago, it probably double that. I know as a kid, anybody that had spent $100,000 on a home, it was a mansion. Y'all remember that? That's just a dab in the bucket nowadays. Mobile homes cost more than that. It's just shocking to where the high prices have gone. We're used to, and y'all know this, to where a man really could raise his family off minimum wage. There is absolutely no way a man can do that now. Everybody's got to work and pitch in. A centuries-old map that was found in the U.S. turned out to be stolen. It's going to be returned to Mexico. Took about a year, all the legal work and things, but it's being returned. That's good. Now, as I mentioned a moment ago, of what happened this weekend in Michigan, we've mentioned it before. If you watch and your church does not have security, don't let today pass without organizing this. As we have now confirmed 4 dead, most likely there's going to be 4 more others found deceased in the fire. We had a total of 10 people shot, 4 dead. As a ex-Marine, now they don't really know much past that of why he did what he did. Drove his truck into the church yesterday. He was an Iraq war veteran. Sanford was his last name. He attacked that church. Horrible. Also, he may have planted things that go pop. More's going to come out of this as they are able to go into this church and decipher the scene as they investigate this. This is horrible. But again, as I urge you, if you have a church, no matter how big, how small, and you don't have a security team to block things like that, do so today. Start a committee as soon as possible. There are so many after Christians. for whatever reason. And it is an attack going on now, without a doubt there. Tomorrow is the day that Trump has put the deadline over about roughly 100,000 federal employees are expected to resign. It'll be the largest exodus in U.S. history of workers. And there are people warning those that are leaving are not going to be happy and they could cause issues. Just be ready for something tomorrow. What else do we have here going on today? Walmart. They're trying to plan for the future of this. And, Walmart now, because it was such a lack of truck drivers, now trains their own truck drivers. They have their own school to train them to put them on the road because they needed them. And they're trying to adjust for what's coming with this AI. They're going to have training of their own. I have no idea where this will land. Is it cutting jobs? It certainly is. It's being able to do things quicker than ever before. Who knows where this will end? Dolly Parton. I think we all love some Dolly, don't we? She has postponed all of her concerts until next year due to the fact she's ill. Now, they haven't released what's going on, but Dolly has postponed all of that and will reschedule late next year. Dolly's 79, and she just said her doctor more or less told her she had to have some surgeries, and it sounded as though there were several. We don't know the rest of that. Ooh, where was this at? Charlotte, North Carolina. A stowaway was found. We've seen this before. Trying to hitch a ride in the landing gear. As you well know, he was found deceased. Not to think that temperatures are extremely cold in the belly of that plane. You just normally don't make it. Tina Turner has a new statue there where she grew up in Tennessee. It's 10 foot tall. It has to have legs from here to... She was very, very tall. What else do we have going on here? Oh boy, 58 million pounds of corn dogs and sausage sticks are going to be recalled because there's a possibility they could have sticks in it, particles of wood in it. This goes back to some Jimmy Dean stuff. Let's see here. State Fair corn dogs on a stick and Jimmy Dean pancakes and sausage on a stick. They're products of Hershire, which is a subsidiary of Tyson Foods. If you have any of that, check your dates and return it if need be. Oh my, I don't see which states were affected by this. They're out of Texas and a little bit there out of Arkansas. I'm assuming this went nationwide. Check your corn dogs there. Coming to the White House today, Netanyahu, did I say that correctly? He's going to be meeting with Trump as hopefully we will find a way to end this war and more lives won't be lost. At least that's what we're hoping. Hopefully they'll work out something good. This is... it was no path to victory is where I'll go with this next headline here. And probably best that he doesn't so the vote isn't split anymore. The current mayor of New York has had to drop out of the mayor's race. He was running as an independent, which would most likely ensure someone else winning this. And you know how that works when the vote is split. It is coming upon a very, very hard election to where it will either go very left or down the middle. New York. I'm almost expecting the worst out of that. We'll wait and see. Do you remember the Texas brothers that held a family at gunpoint for 9 hours over crypto? They have formally been charged now for that. Kidnapping and a whole bunch of other stuff there. Do you remember as we talked about Jimmy Kimmel while he was taken off the air originally there had roughly 60 ABC markets that pulled it, Nexstar, across the line that company thought. And as I told you, I think it was Friday, they were meeting to discuss whether or not putting him back on the air or not. They have decided to. He'll be going back on Sinclair and Nexstar. That will be happening immediately, so expect that tonight across America. We'll leave it there. Pete Hegseth has decided, this started during the Biden administration. Do y'all remember the Battle of Wounded Knee, United States Army? There were 20 medals given out on that. There was a committee that was going to, well, take those back from those soldiers. Pete says no way, they will keep their medals and move on. It's a part of history. What will happen with this? It is now headed to the Supreme Court. I think the U.S. of A. is one of very, very few countries that still do this. And what I'm referring to is birthright. Trump is asking the administration to, well, end that. What will the Supreme Court do? We will see. There's a chance that this could happen. Now, I only know very little about Minnesota, the state. It's probably cold. That's what I'm guessing here. I don't go there very often. I think I've been there once. Guess who's going to be running for governor, it looks like? The guy from My Pillow, who's had most of his wealth taken from him, Mike Lindell, will most likely be running for governor of Minnesota in the next race. Will he win? I'm not sure. We'll see. The U.S. is meeting. We've seen it happen twice so far as they've been targeting drug lords in Venezuela. It looks as though they're getting ready for more action against the drug lords. Boats will disappear. That is coming there. Let's see what else we have. Oregon seems to be very, very upset. That's not very many so far, but President Trump has ordered 200 troops to Oregon, National Guard deployment on Portland. The city is, well, it's being run by criminals. 200 are arriving. We expect more. They're suing him over it. What happened to the betterment of our U.S. of A.? Do y'all remember all across America when people were taking a knee, when it was something they didn't like, they'd just kneel down? What happens if you were an FBI agent and you were sent there to do your job, and instead of doing your job, you took a knee? Well, under the Biden administration, I can answer that. Absolutely nothing happened. Not so today, as we find out that 15 agents have just been fired that took a knee during the George Floyd riots. Took a knee. They wouldn't do anything when people were burning and tearing up things. They are no longer employed with the federal government of the U.S. of A. About time. Whether you agree with something or not, if it's your job, you do it. Especially if you're a government employee.
A lot of folks went to Vietnam that didn't want to be there.
That's right. As Greg just told me, there's a lot of folks that went to Nam, a bunch of boys that went to Nam. They didn't want to be there. You know what? They didn't have a choice. They were drafted. There's so many people that don't quite understand all of that. Nowadays, we haven't had a draft since then, have we? Wasn't that the last draft? The folks that go and fight our wars now sign up for them. There were a bunch of kids that were graduating from high school that probably wouldn't have signed up, but they were forced. And you know what? Tons of them didn't make it home. That flag is put together by so many people that gave their lives. Each piece of thread, I've said it before, each piece of thread on that flag represents a life. And we have those that kneel and won't respect it. Where will our country go? Only you can answer that. I never watched this show. I'm assuming that it was one of those Discovery Channel type TV shows. Meet the Putmans. Y'all ever heard of that one? I missed that one. Apparently there was a whole ton of them on that TV show. There was a bad wreck this weekend. 3 people are deceased that was a part of that show. The family wrecked. We hate that. Do you remember the football player that went to the NFL headquarters, shot people? Doctors are now saying that he had that CTE disease, that brain disorder. He done a lot of bad things, no matter how you slice it there. The oldest ever president of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints has passed away at 101. His name was Russell M. Nelson. God rest his soul. We've got a lot to talk about this morning. Greg's going to be filling in for Odie this morning. Odie is out in a ditch somewhere. He's going. How do you round up hogs?
He calls him.
He calls him. Sweet.
Yeah.
Odie's on the scene of the hog accident there, the 18-wheeler on I-59.
He said he'd always had a way with pigs.
Greg said he was told that, well, Odie's always had a way with pigs. Y'all be careful. I-59 southbound around mile marker 139, 140 there at the Chunky River Bridge. 18-wheeler Simmons is on scene also. We'll be right back here in just a moment.
For over 40 years, you've been able to count on Watt Equipment in DeKalb, Mississippi. They've got your Massey Ferguson's brand new 23 up to 135 horse cab and air tractors. They've got all your hay equipment needs, all your bush hogs. If your tractor needs it, they got it. Also remember, they service all makes and models, whether it's green, orange, blue, red, or yellow. They can get your parts in, they can do your service on your equipment. Don't forget Watt Equipment, DeKalb, Mississippi.
The Scotty Ray Report studio is sponsored by Environment Masters, providing hassle-free heating and cooling, plumbing, and electrical services since 1957, and now serving Meridian homeowners. Welcome back. As we get this underway, let's get into our weather forecast now, find out how the weather's going to be today.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA.
Those record highs and record lows back in 19, it was 96 today. Back in 67, boy, that's been a while ago, hasn't it now? Low of 34. We'll put that at, 59 years ago. Woof. That's flying. Here's today's high. We should see 91 in Columbus. Corinth, somewhere around 87. We'll see 89 in South Haven. As we get back to this eastern side of Mississippi, Philadelphia, Meridian should see 90 as we move south, holding steady all the way to Gulfport with 88. Warm day, even though we're coming to the end of September. As we look at Bama, we'll see the same there. 90 in Demopolis, 88 in Birmingham. Over in Gadsden, about 87. Auburn fans still at 85. Did we win the game there? We're going to go over those scores in a little bit. I got an ugly look. I take it they did not. Here's our outlook, 6 to day 10 outlook across the U.S. That warming trend coming across Mississippi. South Mississippi a little bit cooler, in eastern Alabama as well. Our 7-day outlook, well, it's holding steady for the next 3 days here at 90. We'll see this Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday at roughly 90 degrees. By Thursday, we start seeing a temperature change. 86 on Thursday, and y'all look out. As we get into October, it's going to be 83 on Friday, 84 over the weekend. You couldn't ask for anything better. It's going to be great. Hope you'll enjoy that. As we go another week into this, we'll jump back to 88 on the 7th and hold steady for 2 or 3 days at that. And by the 10th, temperatures start going back down to those lower 80s, 84, 83. Should be good. We're looking forward to that, aren't we? As we look at, let's take a look here of what we've got going on. Our fishing forecast, as we look at the weather, it's going to be wind today, north-northeast 5 to 10 out at Clarkdale Super Red. They've got it all lined up for you to go fishing. If you're headed out, 5:30 to 7:30 this morning. Going on now is perfect. You'll get a second time today at 6 o'clock through 8 o'clock. So at 6 to, well, it's close to 7, you can still see the fish. You'll have about a 1 hour chance between 11 and noon to try it today also. Sunrise happened at 6:47 just a few minutes ago. Sunset rolls in at 6:41 this afternoon. So you'll get nearly an hour in before dark 30 this afternoon. Now, let's take a look at what's going on radar as we go back to find out what's happening with all of this stuff that's going on with the tropics. As we pull up Doc's Toyota radar, I want y'all to look at this, how fortunate we are. This was set to hit Charleston. Now, they're still going to get rain, but it goes up and gets near Orlando and takes a right turn Clyde. And about then, as we look at this tropical storm, Milda, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, turns right. It does become a Category 1. As of this morning, winds are at 45 miles an hour. 996 millibars. Now, we've got a Cat 4 that is not going to get anywhere near us. Look at that right there. This morning, a Cat 4, as we look at this, winds of 140 miles an hour, millibars at 928, moving northwest at 14 miles an hour. And again, moving away from the states. It'll stay in the Atlantic, no threat to us. We will get some rain there, as you see here, all along the east coastline here. Daytona Beach, these areas there, a lot of rain, Charleston up through here, but no direct hit. You can't beat it. We're just getting some rain bands on that. So we we're real proud of that. As we look at the great state of Mississippi, look at that. Nothing going on. We don't get any fog till we get over around east of Birmingham up through Chattanooga. We got a lot of fog. Knoxville, it's coming down this morning. Asheville in those areas in Charleston, West Virginia, you probably can't see your hand this morning. It's so thick in those mountains. Be careful no matter where you are. We're a couple of minutes away from the morning show kicking off. Won't you come back and join us? It'll kick off live and we'll tell you everything that's going on. My, oh my. Join us. Again, Greg will be in this morning as we get this day underway. I would have thought Julia would have come running to be a part of this. I tell
Probably
you,
couldn't get her broom cranked.
couldn't get her broom cranked. She's got one of them pull ropes, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll do that. We'll be right back. Join us starting at 7.